Hi, I'm Kep Kepner, CPA here in Dallas. This is the second in the series relating to contract CFO or a contract controller. We talked about that as a concept, and the idea of having a contract CFO or a fractional CFO has the benefit of saving costs and having a generally high-powered person available part-time to help you. And while that may save you in cash out because you don't have a full-time employee, it also has some drawbacks. The drawbacks are that whoever is in that role has a set of skills, and you may need skills that are beyond that, different than that. So that's one of the differences. The second is that when you have somebody on contract and their contract is up, then you may be caught up, but you're in the same place that you were before you hired the contractor. That is, you don't have anybody to carry on with the day-to-day work. So there's another idea. What about going to a staffing agency and hiring an accountant? Again, on a contract. Hey, that's great. If I have them for 90 days and they do this work, then I don't have to keep them forever. But the other advantage, I can hire them, I can work them for a number of months on a contract, and if they work out really good, then I can make them full-time. So it's a way to test whether somebody is going to be a good employee for me. Well, think about this. So maybe you go in with the idea that you're going to save some money because you're only paying for the short-term contract. Well, in reality, you're paying a higher rate than what you would have to pay them as an employee. But you also run into the problem that they still only have their set of skills, which may not be enough. I can give you a specific example. I have a client that's a contractor, and they're pretty big size company, and they've got a great product. They've found a niche, and their controller quit. And it's really clear after looking at their financial records that the controller was hiding things from the owner, not bad things, but just doing work that to make things appear a certain way. So the controller that they had was gone and unavailable to help. So my client hired a contract accountant to come in with the idea that they would be permanent. But they also hired my firm to come in to act kind of like the CFO. So they had the controller doing all the day-to-day work. They had the CFO putting the financials in good order, making sure that was up to date, documenting all the procedures so that operationally, after things were caught up, he had the internal person to continue on with the work, and he had a CPA, in this case our firm, that was able to oversee that so that there were really good, usable, defendable financial statements for their company. As a result of that, they've been able to get additional work without having to get a bond because they had the financial statements from Kepner and Company that documented their financial results. So that, for that particular company, that was a great solution. They could go into it on a contract, see if they wanted to keep the person that they wanted to keep. Turns out they did. But then they also had backup in our firm to know how they were doing. That's more along the lines of how we approach the idea of a contract CFO. We will be the contract or fractional CFO for a company, but we do it a slightly different way. We define what's needed, whether it's a certain amount of time or a certain amount of time every week, however that's defined. We identify the game plan. If the game plan requires somebody to do traditional CFO or controller duties, our accountant who's out there in that role can be that person. When they need financial statements and other kind of work, the CPA firm steps in with our resources and does that. That's work that we do routinely for clients all over Dallas and this part of the country. So we know how to do that really efficiently. It's a check and balance on our own person that's working in the client shop. Then, once things are caught up, we've done not only the controller work to get the client caught up, we've implemented the processes to continue on with financial statements, we've documented the procedures, so now those procedures can be training for somebody who would work for our client, and we stay in the traditional CPA role. So it's kind of the best of all worlds. They get the short-term contract that they need. They get the benefit of multiple levels of knowledge and skill to get them caught up. They get documented results, and then they're able to use those results and train a lesser person to carry on with them because they've been trained. And our part-time controller is still available on a contract basis as needed, and our firm is involved on a routine basis doing financial statements. So again, you've controlled your costs, you've had a wide variety of skills, and you have managed to get the work done in a short period of time without a long-term commitment. So when you're looking at the idea of hiring a contract accountant, you might want to consider our approach, which is different and gives you more resources in a short period of time to get your job done, and gives you the long-term procedures and CPA support to let you operate with a smaller staff into the future. So we can help you with that. Give us a call.